clerical corrections. Page 6, item 13, item 13. I believe the letter is from B&B Engineering. And Teresa Conway should be, I believe, item 14, Teresa Conway. That's it.
I also have a correction on page 1, item 3, under public comment. Third line, where you have Caitlin, the last name is Catlin, C-A-T-L-I-N. And the second public comment, Colleen, is 2 L's. No, that's no problem. No problem.
Thank you.
If we catch it, yeah. With those changes, have a motion? All in favor? Aye. Add to the agenda, discussion of possible action on applications of town plan. So, Trish?
Seconded.
Second by Matt. Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Last night,
Seconded. Discussion.
Oh, sure.
Vote. All in favor? Opposed?
No.
Abstain? Motion carries 4-1. Please note, select the standings and abstention. No. Sorry. Night, Chris. Feel better. Code 7, Code Compliance, Land Use and Building Inspector Update and Report. Jim Baldwin.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Jim Baldwin. I'm Director of Land Use and Code Compliance. and I'd like to give you an update on the department and where we stand. Um, So the department consists of myself, the director, and I'm also the building official of the town of Seymour. My administrative staff is Elise Callahan, who's a full-time employee. Our zoning enforcement officer and inland wetlands officer, Mike Margansky. He's a part-time employee. We have an administrator for the land use department, Becca Finley. She's a part-time employee. Our town planner is shared services through the COG, Keith Rosenfeld, and our department also supports the town engineer, B&B Engineering, as well, as far as administrative paperwork and so on. The building departments, just to give you an update, these are yearly numbers. These aren't our fiscal numbers for our financial year, but this number is from January 1, 23 to the close of September 9/30. Our revenue is $237,154. And that consists of residential permits of 621 permits so far up to the close of September. Commercial permits are at 69. And what we're seeing is in our solar, is 48 permits so far this year. We brought online approximately 4 new homes out of the 12 that are being constructed. We've also brought online larger developments of 34 new apartments on Route 34. And again, I said we have about 12 new homes being constructed, as well as multiple renovations, additions, and pools and things like that. We usually run between 50 to 60 inspections. That's my inspection count per month. I've got 5 unsafe building orders out in town that are in place and valid. We've got 1 court action from the building department that is still pending. What, Richard? Still pending. And then when we move to the land use side, we've got a revenue of $33,179 as of 9/30, with approximately 120 zoning permits that have gone out so far. We've got 10 wetland permits that have gone out for a total of $21,265. We move over to our land use. We've got several court cases that are still pending. We've got a total of 2 with the ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals. We've got a planning and zoning court case and 1 inland wetlands court case. We have 33 active blight cases in town with potentially fees that have accumulated $22,000. We have 18 active zoning enforcement cases right now, and we have 4 active inland wetland cases. As far as the boards and commissions go right now, Planning and Zoning Commission is in need of an alternate to be placed on that board.
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
Planning and Zoning.
Thank you.
And the Inland Wetlands Board, we need 1 alternate, 1 regular member, and 2 alternate members. That board has seen a couple of resignations. We need to get those boards, completed. The only board that has no vacancies as of now is the Zoning Board of Appeals. Anybody have any questions on the statistics of anything that's going on, or any of the orders or unsafe orders?
Planning and zoning, we're down, I'm sorry, 1 regular or 1?
We are down, planning and zoning, we are down
Alternate?
1 alternate.
Okay, well,
Excuse me 1 minute. Mr. Willoughby, would you turn on your mic, please?
I did.
put them all on before.
Sometimes they go off on their own.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
So, as you can see, there's quite a few actions that, that impact the town. Several of the unsafe orders that I've issued are substantial. Some are more noticeable than others. 2628 Main Street, which is the old Trestle Tavern, has some serious problems. We are working with, at this point, we're working with the state's attorney's office, who has files opening on them, and we hope we can get compliance on those buildings. We certainly hope we can.
going on with that particular situation. I don't want them discouraged because I know that this board in the past, and I know I was a big proponent of it, like, we're not going to blight someone who's going to work with us, show updates and get it done, because the whole idea is clean it up.
Yeah.
That's what we want, that's what the neighbors want, that's what everybody wants.
Right.
So I don't want them discouraged, because there's certainly going to be times where if someone's not going to work with you, then that's certainly not going to be the case. But that's all I want to make sure is happening, is
Oh, yeah.
we're
No,
appropriately
definitely.
working with people to get it cleaned up with their situation.
I would actually like to take, and I've spoken to First Selectman about this, I've spoken to Mr. Miller about this, and Chris Pelosi. I would like to take, if the job becomes a full-time job, I would like to have that job as a zoning enforcement officer, inland wetlands officer. Okay, that's the primary function. I'd like to remove blight, come back to this board and ask for a part-time blight enforcement officer. That would, number one, be able to give the time to exactly what you're talking about and, separate
Wait, isn't
that.
he a part-time blight officer? I guess I'm lost now.
He's part-time everything. 19.5 hours to do probably,
He's covering multiple.
So he's spending 20 hours a week doing multiple part-time
yeah, and
jobs,
he's
not just blight.
and he's scratching 50% of the job duties right now.
I understand, okay.
One quick question, if I may. The signs, is there a protocol? I mean, do you need a permit to put the signs up? Are we supposed to say, hey, I want to put my asphalt?
They're illegal under the town zoning ordinance, under the zoning regulations.
So they're not supposed to be across the board, right?
Nobody should have them.
Okay.
We do allow, the fire department has for their recruiting, EMS will put out there for their training.
Right.
The Board of Education will put that out there for kindergarten registration. Those are the things that
No, I'm talking commercial signs
are not supposed to be there.
at all.
None.
So then maybe we should have them pick up their own signs.
We would
No,
have
or
the
charge.
manpower
Not
to
gonna-
call up all these
No, that's not
companies to say, go pick up your sign enforcement. And again,
It's a thought.
yeah, enforcement is not pretty. I'd say we get 2 out of 10 people that are saying, hey, I'm sorry, or, oh my God, let me take care of that. The other 8 tell us pretty much that we're intrusive. We're intruding on their rights.
It's tough.
But again, like I said, I would love to see this board, support that process.
Brad has a question.
Absolutely.
Mr. Baldwin, how do you prioritize what blight sites that you are going to go after and take further action? Blight enforcement officer.
So the first notification for someone that's in blight is they'll receive a letter, and that letter is kind of a form letter that'll outline, has a bunch of series of blight conditions under the ordinance, the blight ordinance. For example, your grass is over 12 inches high.
But how do you prioritize? You said there are 33 pending blight violations.
So
do you prioritize?
when that comes in, if John Smith from ABC Road sends us in, we get that complaint. That complaint is automatically investigated. That's immediate. And then Mr. Margansky, or sometimes myself, will go out there and we will look at that. We'll come back and we'll say we need to issue that letter. That letter will indicate what the blight violation is, and we ask for their cooperation within 10 to 15 days to remedy that. The second letter, I believe, goes out as a notification. It's the warning letter, Rich, if I'm correct. It's the warning letter. So then there's another letter that puts them on notice that if they don't correct the violation, then they will go into the third step, which is being fined. And I believe it's $150 a day, I believe. So that's how we do it. So it's look at immediately, and then there's 2 phases. The 33 cases that we have are all passed into the warning letters. And they would total, if we were to collect from all those, and the only way we can collect, I believe, again, Rich, is through civil action. Yes. Through civil action. So that's how we do it. I mean, we do respond to every single one.
And do we have any pending assessments that have been filed with the court that we're waiting to collect on?
We have, yes, Brian indicated that judgment against the Trestle Tavern has been upheld through the hearing officer. So I believe, yes, the answer to the question. I don't have all the specifics. Attorney Blair had done that. Karen Fisher was our hearing officer.
What percentage of your complaints are commercial and what percentage are residential generally?
I'd probably say 90% are residential, and 10% are commercial. Usually the commercial ones we'll make ourselves. It's not, uncommon for us to stop at a commercial building on 67, for example, and tell them you're in violation to cut your grass. And these are commercial buildings with their islands and their grass is up to here, and they have 50 million signs or lotto signs or everything else. So we routinely do that. They come right back. The grass is up to here. There's all signs and everything again.
How do we control blight in a construction yard setting?
As far as,
Equipment rusting, sitting around, visible to the public,
if it's in a residential neighborhood, it shouldn't be there.
but in a commercial area,
In a
right?
commercial, we have to look at the zone, if it's allowed as a construction yard, and it should be, we have, I know of one that's always in violation, but they have screening on the fence, so if they can just keep their gates closed, it'd be nice. But again, we have to look at the zone, Fred, because if it's general industrial, they may, hey, it's my equipment, it can be there.
But I mean, if equipment is sitting around, rusting, the parts of equipment, whatever, as long as it's fenced in and,
Or it's in the right zone. They could be saying, hey, I'm using that old machine for parts.
thank you. I do want to make a comment. I'd like to thank Jim and his staff for all the work that they've done with regard to the apartment complex that he talked about earlier. That's a dangerous situation. It's very important that we had aggressive action taken by Jim, because I understand at first the association wasn't doing anything.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you for your report.
Item number 8, update regarding the sale of 98 Bank Street property. Attorney Bertula.
Thank you, Madam First Selectwoman. I just wanted to give an update in items 8 and 9 of what's going on with 98 Bank Street. As you know, last meeting, you voted to move this process forward for sale. So I've been working with Brian and Rich to make sure that we're meeting all of the necessary requirements. So we have notices in the Waterbury Republican. One was in today. The next one goes in on the 11th. That's to comply with our charter requirements. And then we're also having a sign hung on the building. Moving into item number 9, which was
Yep.
it's all kind of combined. Again, this is just a reminder. There will be a public hearing scheduled here on Tuesday, October 17th at 6:45 p.m. You folks have already approved that. But again, I just wanted to remind everyone and have it stated in the record clearly again, just to make sure that everyone is aware of that. So again, we're just trying to cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's.
And if I just may add to that, we have a draft contract that has gone to Attorney Sheehy. When we get his comments back, we'll finalize that, and we'll bring that back for, after all this, for one additional vote to authorize the First Selectwoman to execute the contract. You already had your 824 approval. Fair enough?
Sounds good.
8-.
Anything? Phil?
I'm good then, thank you.
Discussion and take possible action regarding the contract for Musco Lighting at a high school track using Sourcewell for government contracts. As you know, we discussed this back on I believe our September 5th meeting. We agreed to use the ARPA money
for the lighting at the high school, but we wanted to make sure with everything going out, the ARPA money and auditors, that we have it in our minutes that we will be using Musco lighting for the high school track. Musco lighting for the high school track using Sourcewell for the government contracts. Musco is in the approved vendors list for ARPA. So we just have to have it with our auditors that it's in our minutes that we are going to use Musco.
That's the packet that was emailed on Friday?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And we don't have it here, I could peruse that, right? The same thing.
Same thing.
Okay, thanks.
I didn't hear so much.
He wanted to know if Selectman Willoughby, that was a packet that was sent to him via email on Friday, to review the packet that was sent to him on Friday, so that we can approve it tonight, to use Musco. Okay?
Yeah, I read it, yep,
Okay.
thanks.
If I may,
Selectman Stanek?
the terminology high school track means the entire stadium, I assume.
High school track is a football stadium,
Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure I
not
understand
the
the terminology.
softball or the
I
tennis
understand.
courts or anything else, just the
Just
football.
want to make sure I understood the
Yeah.
terminology. Thank you.
Turf field, yeah.
Turf field. Okay. Item number 10, discuss possible action regarding, we did one, I'm sorry, number 11, I need to add to a motion to add to the agenda discussion and possible action regarding waiving the bid requirement to award and purchase new weapons from the Seymour Police Department. As you know, we did come in front of this board, we asked for the ARPA money for the new guns to be purchased for the police department.
Can I make a motion to add that to the agenda
Yes.
first?
Second.
Motion by Trish, second by Pat, thank you. So Paro's Gun Shop is on the state contractors list. They're also the
Well, no,
Go ahead.
I just, in your packets, which I handed out to you tonight, this is new information you received today. You'll see a memo to myself, from the day on finance office.
there it
Very
is.
official, as you can see.
Stop it.
This was something that you folks have already approved, purchasing of new firearms for our police department. We had asked the chief to go out and solicit bids for this. The chief went out, was able to get 3 bids. There is currently no state bid list, and you can see all this referenced in your, in the memo that you sent to me. The company that came in with the cheapest price, Paro's Gun Shop, Waterbury, Vermont, they were the lowest bids that we received. They are on the state of Massachusetts bid list, and oddly enough, the Connecticut State Police and the Connecticut State Department of Corrections have purchased their weapons through this same gun shop using the Massachusetts bid list.
So that not on our state bid list, because
Not on
it's Massachusetts, it's a
Correct.
Massachusetts
Right.
company.
Massachusetts
So because
bid
it's
list.
not there, this is not going to be the normal
It's a
bid
Vermont
process.
company.
The second alternative is to Rich. We're going to actually need the board to waive the bid requirements if you want to move forward. We have to do a public, town meeting and so on and so forth, which we would set up for the 17th. But I wanted to give you the background as to where we were. The chief has done extensive research. He's worked with Tony to get all of this lined up. And we wanted to address any questions first on this, and then at that point, move to the procedural part, which Rich will walk you through in waiving the bid requirements. This has all been run by the auditors, and the auditors are very comfortable with it, assuming there is a positive vote by the select.
So if I may, Madam First Selectwoman, ladies and gentlemen, the chief did in fact solicit 3 bids, so you know you have a competitive price. You know this firm is on the Massachusetts state bid list. Unfortunately, it is not on our state bid list. So in order to go about doing this, under 2-268 of the Seymour Town Code, I would recommend calling a special town meeting to authorize this purchase and to excuse it from the competitive bid requirements. You can do that at the next meeting, and that will be sufficient and enable this transaction to go forward. Fair enough? Questions?
Sounds good.
We've done that before.
Point of order, we never voted on the motion to add to the agenda.
No, I did. I spoke to Anne
Oh,
Marie
you
and
said
said
second.
shouldn't.
You made the
Second.
motion.
I made the
Second.
motion
Can we
and.
all right,
Oh,
all in
I'm sorry.
favor of
Aye.
adding
Aye.
this?
Sorry.
Aye.
Votes are carried 5-0.
I'm sorry, you're giving me the look.
No, no. I never give you the look, Mr. Stanley.
I'm like, wait, that's what I thought I did.
You just saved the motion.
Thank you. Never give you the look, Mr. Stanley. Save that for certain people.
So while we added it to the agenda, I think we should make a motion to set a special town, meeting for Tuesday, October 19th,
I'll make a motion.
2023 at 6:40 PM.
6:45.
We already have one at 6:40.
That's a public hearing, so you need to make it a different time because this is a
No, I know.
special
I'm
town
trying to
meeting.
figure out the time in my head. A good time.
6:45. You can do 6:30 and 6:45. It's up to
I'm
you.
gonna do 6:30 and 6:45.
Yeah, that,
Sounds like a pizza night.
This one will be 6:30.
If Karen was here, it'd be a pizza and root beer night.
That's right.
I'll
That's
make
right.
a, wait, we don't need to add that to the agenda, right? We can just, okay, I'll make a motion to, what am I making a motion
You're
for
not.
again? I'm
The
not,
meeting.
Making a
for a
motion
special meeting, town meeting.
to set a special town meeting for Tuesday, October 7th.
For Tuesday, October 17th, to
Authorize this
authorize
purchase
the purchase of
pursuant-
the guns for Peros,
pursuant to section 2-268 of the Seymour Town Code.
that. So
To
moved.
authorize us to go off the bid list and
No, you're waiving the competitive.
waiving the competitive bid list, so we could use Paros,
Which we have done previously.
which we have done previously, or prior.
I
Okay,
need a
so,
second, now that we're done with that motion.
Seconded.
Second by Pat Lombardi. All discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0. Did you get that? So bizarre. 5 minutes? All right. Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss finance department cybersecurity policy and procedures review? And why are you looking at me like that for? Okay. Inviting Kurt Miller, Attorney Bertula, Jay, and Doug from the finance department.
so moved.
I can't spell his last
Mr.
name.
I think Mr. Bertulo has to help us with the motion a little bit.
So a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 1-200 of the Connecticut General Statutes for the discussion of security procedures, with inclusive of the Board of Selectmen, the Jay and
Can I
Doug
keep
from
one?
Finance, and Mr. Miller.
And myself.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Was
Chair
there a
votes aye.
second? Somebody make them, who made the motion?
Tricia, I thought you made the
So
motion.
moved.
Second.
Seconded.
At, Jesus, 7:49. Miller, are we streaming? Make sure you have the voice off.